When you put in your mind your own success thoughts, amazing things will start to happen. And when you speak those success thoughts into the universe, things will start to happen because you create an energy around you. How many of you know that you create your energy? Raise your hand if you know that. And that energy can be a positive energy, or it can be a negative energy, or it can be right in the middle, which is an ambivalent energy. And that actually you can get pulled into one way or the other, depending upon whose energy you run into. All right. So we know that we create our own energy. And so therefore we know other folks' energy comes up against us. And therefore we need to create a boundary around that. And I'm sharing that with you. It's not in the 10X book, but I was on the phone with my mentor this morning, Adrian Sabatino. He is without a doubt my mentor. And Adrian just was reminding me to be careful who I spend time with and who I allow to speak into my brain. Even people that I might be coaching that are not agents, but are peer level of mine, even agents that I might be trying to help, guard my energy from those folks, right? So I just have a feeling that I need to speak that onto someone here today, that you might be allowing even other agents in other companies, in Keller Williams, wherever it is, you may be allowing them to come into your energy force field. And while you're trying to coach and help them, at the same time, they may be taking you backwards into another dimension that you don't want to go into, right? Right? So guard your mind against that. All right. Where sometimes we give more to the business and less time in other areas, and then vice versa. But it is a constant counterbalance of moving backwards and forwards. And for those of you that have never heard this concept, open up the one thing and imagine, you guys, when you were younger, did you play on teeter-totters? Who played on teeter-totters here? Me? Okay, you? Okay. Did you have a brother like mine that actually jumped on the one end and sent you flying? Right? Okay. That's non-counterbalancing. Counterbalancing is when, instead of your big brother who was, trying to create havoc in your life, you actually had a friend on the other side and you guys tried to balance and keep both ends off the ground, and you were counterbalancing like this. And sometimes you had to put more weight, then sometimes they have to put more weight. That's counterbalancing with your time. So I love that. Who else had something from this chapter that really jumped out at them in terms of time? Kim Jones.
Yeah, two things, just playing off of what Jordan said. And I listened to the book, I don't read it, so I don't have the exact words, but he said something along the lines of, instead of thinking along the lines of balance, think about abundance. And so thinking that you can have abundance in all areas of your life if you focus on the most important activities and the things that are a priority to you. And the other thing that he just kind of barely mentioned in there, but I picked up on this idea of leverage that we've talked about in some of our other books. When he said, if I can make 15 phone calls in 15 minutes and I can hire someone to make 15 phone calls in 15 minutes, I've just duplicated the efforts. And one of the things I'm really working on this year is trying to figure out what aspects of my life I can get some leverage so that I can control and create more time.
Oh my gosh, Kim Jones. I love what you said. And actually what you're talking about is on page 124. For those of you that have the book, it's on page 124, where he says, I get 15 phone calls done in 15 minutes. If I get 15 phone calls done in 15 minutes and you get 15 phone calls done in an hour, then I have essentially created 45 minutes more for myself. In this way, the 10X rule makes it possible to multiply time. And then he goes on to say, if I hire someone and pay that person $15 an hour to make 15 calls every 15 minutes, then I just duplicated my efforts and my time becomes money. My time becomes money, right? So I love that. And you know what? A great way to figure out where you need to leverage is to give away that which someone else can do for $15 an hour. and you only focus on the activities that someone who makes $250 to $500 an hour gets paid for, because that's who you are, right? I love that, Kim. Thank you so much for that. Any other ahas from this chapter around time? Nope. Zach?
Creating time. You know, there's so many things when you really break it down that it's just inefficient. And I think we go through our day and sometimes don't realize how much time we're wasting, you know, and then like for me, you know, this morning's different. I'm with my son, so we're up in the Tampa area, but you know, but in the mornings, you know, I realized I had to get up earlier to create more time to get the stuff done that I need done. So you can create more time if you really break down where you're spending it.
You know, Zach, I love that. Hey, Ethan. So I love that. And I really, well, first of all, I love it, Zach, that you're listening to this call with your kids in the car. I love that. That's awesome. And because what we pour into our children matters, right? What we pour into their minds and create within them matters. So I so admire you for that. The next thing, what I'm going to say is that about creating time is that we all have the same number of hours in the day. Right? Can we agree with that? All of us have 24 hours, right? And Kim and Zach are kind of saying the same thing, is that there is an abundance of time. It's how we choose to use it. There's an abundance of time, and it's how we choose to use it and how we choose to leverage that time. So when we're talking about paying someone else to do something for us, that is a time leverage for us to get time back. And it's to get time back to do another 10x activity to 10x our outcomes. So one of the things that Zach is talking about is Zach was, and still is, I think, coming into this office. I don't know if you guys know this, but at like 3:30 in the morning. I'm not kidding. Zach was getting in here at 3:30 in the morning. And by the time we got in here at 7:30, he had most of his day done. So all he had to do was go to the gym, set appointments, and go on appointments, and then, you know, be done early, right? Be done earlier in the day.
Zach, I think it's time to leverage.
Yep. You know, it's, you know, but it's one of those, it's a mindset thing. And it's, you know, I've been getting up early for a while, but not that early, you know. But, you know, I've got different businesses that I do outside of real estate, and it's with one of them, I've got to get up early. You know, there's no choice. It's you guys don't know it. I've been a fishing guide for a while. So on weekends, you know, I'm up at 3:30, and I noticed, you know, there's times when I shifted more time to, you know, in real estate or with guiding, where it was every day I was getting up that early, and it's like, I'm not any more tired. It's mindset, you know, her and I may go to bed a little earlier. So this other business that I had, you know, where it's, you know, the multiple streams of income I'm trying to create, it's, I basically just evaluated, like, how the hell am I going to do this? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm just going to get up earlier. And if I tell myself I'm tired, guess what? I'm going to be tired. If I tell myself I feel great, I feel great. So that's what I've noticed through this whole thing of getting up earlier. It's just how you look at it, and your mind will control how you feel. And, you know, I was telling Becky, it's, you know, for me, I was telling my son too, you know, it's like, if I'm there at 3:30 versus, like, say my son or whatever getting up at 8:30, that's 5 hours. That's the difference between if you get up at 8:30 or getting up at 1:30 in the afternoon.
That's right.
How much more are you going to get done between 8:30 and 1:30? And that's how I look at it. That's like a full another day for me. So.
And the one thing I want to make sure that I say too about Zach has 3 companies that I know of. He has 3 businesses that I know of. He may have more. So that I don't know of, but I know about 3 that he has. And in order for you in life, I think, and what Grant Cardone is talking about is that the 10X rule, when you leverage out in your business, then it gives you the opportunity to 10x activity to another business. So one of the things I know about Zach is, and I hope Zach doesn't mind me saying this, but Zach got an executive assistant, a full-time executive assistant, and he literally offloaded so much onto her that it enabled him to start another company, to start another business. So it's about when you're thinking about your time and getting leverage, it really is about, okay, what am I going to replace that with? What 10x activity am I going to now do so that I can then incorporate another stream of income, or maybe incorporate an activity around getting healthy, or incorporate these other things? It's not in order for you to lay back, right? It's not in order for you to lay back. So Zach, thank you so much for sharing that. All right.
I got one more thing to add quick too.
Zach.
And I noticed too, when I have a lot of stuff going on, you have to manage your time. Versus like when I'm just doing real estate, you know, I've got all this time, I'm like, oh, I'll make my calls in the afternoon, or I'll do this. It blocks it out where I have to do this at this time, or I know it's not going to get done, where I can't procrastinate, where it's almost like the more I've got going on, I feel like the more I get done. It's the opposite. I feel like I get more real estate done when I've got a lot of other stuff going down, because I have to block out my time, because if not, I know it's just not going to happen. So
100%.
It's that going on vacation mentality. You got to get it done.
That's right, Kim. It is that going on vacation mentality. If everyone treated every week like you were going on vacation, leaving on Thursday, what would you get done Sunday through Wednesday? Right? How much would you achieve? What would you get done in that time frame? It's pretty massive. And so what happens is, I don't know if you guys heard this, but what Zach just said is that when you have big goals and you start other companies and you're doing different things, you cannot procrastinate on your time. You have to figure out how to get it done, right? I was coming into the office this morning, and one of my goals is that, you know, I'm just going to be honest with you guys about this and transparent, is that I've been focusing so much on my business that, you know, I've not created the time that I need to create for my marriage and my husband, right? And so one of the things that we want to start doing is we want to use an hour of daylight a day and exercise. And so yesterday, I got home at 4:30 and we went for a bike ride. And so thinking about the things that I want to accomplish for my role, my agents, and for my family, on the way in this morning, I'm like, you know what? If I got up at 4:30 in the morning, what would that look like? And how much could I add to it? And what could I get done? And so I get up at 5, but now tomorrow I'm going to get up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm going to get up at 4:30. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in the shower, and then I'm going to do my devotional and do all of those things before my husband gets up at like 5:15, so that then I can spend a little bit of time with him and then come into the office and get into the office earlier and get my day done earlier. So and Zach actually is the one who's inspired me to this, because I've watched his story, and now he's acquired a new company and he's doing different things, and it's really awesome to see. So thank you, Zach, for that. So here's the last thing I want to double down on here is on page 129. I want to spend just a second and talk about criticism as a success. Who listened to this chapter? Criticism is a success. Criticism is a sign of success. All right. Here's the thing, guys. I can't wait for you to listen to this chapter. And here's what I want you to think about whenever you're listening to this chapter. And we're going to talk about it tomorrow. What criticisms would you most like to hear from people? And this is going to make more sense whenever you listen to this book or this chapter. Criticism is a sign of success. So I want you to answer the question, what criticisms would you most like to hear from people? And answer that question after you read this chapter. So tomorrow we're going to talk about that chapter, and we're also going to jump to omnipresence. All right, Karen Wilkinson, there you go. You just wanted to hear me say another word and butcher it. I just did it. Omnipresence.
So what chapters are we looking at tomorrow?
Chapter 20. and chapter 18.
Chapter 20 and chapter 18.
Chapter 20 and chapter 18. And we're going to finish this book this week, guys. We're going to finish this book this week. And this is the next book, the 12-week year. This is the next book. You guys have been hearing me talking about taking your year goal, breaking it down into four, divided by 4, and focus on what you need to accomplish just in those 12 weeks. We're gonna really talk about how to do that and how to get out of overwhelm. Who would like strategies to get out of overwhelm? Raise your hand. If you're in overwhelm, this is the book for you. And so we're gonna talk about how do we go from these 10X activities and the 10X mindset and put it into action and get the results that we so desire. So next week, for tomorrow, 18 and 20, we're going to cruise through this. I can't wait to hear your thoughts and your list of what you want to hear in criticism about you and your business going forward. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make it a 10X day, guys. Have a great day. Bye.